Shivji says this in Padma Purana. Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. 5,000 years back this is told. Before the starting of Kali Yuga this has been told. In Kali Yuga these are only authorized. Others are all, not at all authorized. Who is giving the...
What's the third book?
Brahma Madhva Gaudiya. Gaudiya Sampradaya. This is the first Sampradaya in which it begins with Brahmaji. Lord Krishna had given the knowledge to Brahma, and Brahma then forms a disciple and Shishya, Guru disciple chain. What we call as Shishya Guru chain. So the Acharya in this is Madhvacharya. Who is the Acharya? And the head office of this university is in Udupi. Udupi Krishna, you may have heard this name, Udupi Krishna. South Indian people, you know that Udupi is there? Yeah. Udupi Krishna. Madhvacharya. Second Sampradaya is Shri Sampradaya, which starts with Lakshmi Ji when Lord Krishna instructed the knowledge to Lakshmi Devi, and then she formed a Guru Shishya Parampara. She formed a Guru Shishya Parampara, and the Acharya is Ramanujacharya. And the place of headquarter is Srirangam. Srirangam, where Kaveri river is passing. Srirangam. Even today, after 1000 years almost, the body is still there as it is, of Ramanujacharya, outside, kept. You can see the eyes shining in that place. This place is in South India, Trichy. The Acharya's body is still there, as intact, even after 1000 years, outside. And they every day apply kesar to it. Ramanujacharya's body. Third is the Haveli Sampradaya. You know this Haveli Sampradaya? Srinathji, Pushti Margi Sampradaya. And that is called as Rudra Sampradaya. And the Acharya is Vishnu Swami and Vallabhacharya. And the headquarter is in Srinathji. Fourth is called as Kumara Sampradaya. Fourth is called as Kumara Sampradaya. Sanat Kumars, you maybe have heard about the four Kumaras. Sanat, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanak Kumar. So that is called as Kumara Sampradaya. Head office is in Govardhan, Vrindavan. And the Acharya name is Nimbarkacharya. So these four Acharyas and these four Sampradayas in Kali Yuga authorized to give spiritual knowledge. Others, nobody is authorized to give. It is mentioned. Plus, they can form a Guru Shishya Parampara. Which Parampara? Parampara. You take page number in Bhagavad Gita, page first, 29th page. Remove the 29th page. '31 page. And if it is a new book, page number, it's the 31, same. Page number 31. What you will see is the disciple succession. What do you see? Here you will see how Lord Krishna passes the knowledge to Brahmaji. Then Brahmaji passes the knowledge to Madhvacharya, and how all the list of gurus and shishyas are given. All the list of all the gurus and shishyas are given. Now you will see the last Acharya is His Holiness Srila Prabhupada. Now his disciple is Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And we are his disciples. What are we? So this is how the chain of connections goes. If you take a certificate from Bombay University for anything, it is valid everywhere. But if you say I came from Bihar with a doctor certificate or LLB certificate, how many will have questions about it? Huh? Or there are many education institute private colleges which are not recognized by the university, but they issue the certificates. They issue. How much is that valid? So in Kali Yuga, there will be millions and millions of Upadharma. It is one of the defect of Kali Yuga. And that's why it is said, Sampradaya Vihinasya Mantra Vifala. If you are not connected with this authorized Sampradayas, actually the purpose of Bhagavad Gita or the Vedic knowledge will not be understood properly. In chapter 4, please remove chapter 4, shlok number 3rd and 4th. Third, please read, Prabhuji, what is it written in the third shloka of chapter 4?
That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science.
Which is the page?
194.
194. Again read very loudly.
That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme.
So this Bhagavad Gita is an ancient science. What is it? Ancient science. And Lord Krishna says that I had spoken this before this to the Sun God. Whom I had spoken this? Then Arjuna is asking, Sun God came a lot previously than me. How did you spoke to him? You have just speaking to me. Then Lord told that I am eternal. I and you have many times appeared. I can remember everything, but you cannot. You cannot. And this is a very, very ancient science. An ancient science about what?
Today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science.
So this is a mystery. What is it? It's a mystery. Bhagavad Gita is a big mystery. And only two qualifications are required to understand. You should be a devotee and a friend. What you should be? Only devotees and friend can actually solve the mysteries of or understand the intricacies of Bhagavad Gita. Like if you want to become, an IIT, you have to pass GE, pre-qualification. Otherwise, no entry. You can't directly jump and say that I want to become this thing. Similarly, this science, if we have to understand, there are two qualifications, pre-qualification required. What are they? You should be a devotee and you should be a friend. Then you can understand the mysteries of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it will always remain a big mystery. So, when it comes in the disciple succession, the most important thing that we learn in the disciple succession is that we are servant of God. What are we? We are anshas. And the prime duty as a spirit soul is to love and serve Him. Love and serve Him. And that's why this topic today, what we are going to take, is called as yoga. You have heard the word Viyoga. What is the meaning of Viyoga? Separation. You remove the word V from it. What is then? Yoga. Yoga means what? Union. Yoga is meaning with union. Union of what? Union of the spirit soul with the Supreme Lord. Union of two things. And that's why, before understanding what we are trying to say about yoga, let us understand what is not yoga. What is? So let's start.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yesterday when you were reciting Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
when God says that unintelligent are those who will perceive me in my body form and not my transcendental nature. So what does that mean? And we worship deity in God's bodily form.
No, they people who think Lord on the material platform. See, first of all, understand, Lord is complete spiritual form. He is not matter. He is not matter. In Brahma Samhita it is said, Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sat ujjvala vigrahasya govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Its body is not like our body, please understand. Don't consider Lord's body, Lord, as like body made up of earth, water, fire, ether. It is not like that. It is complete spirit. What is it? Complete spirit, whole spirit. Complete Satchidanandamay spirit. Because when we see body concept, then we start applying our bodily form. Okay, Lord may be like us. No, He is not like. By His any anga, He can do any work. Just by seeing, He can agitate the entire Shrishti. By when it is said how He impregnated the Vedas in the heart of Brahmaji, just by flute. He was just blowing the flute and all the Vedas started flowing in the heart of Brahmaji. So any anga can do any work. It's not like us, hands only will do hand work. Any body can do any part. And it's total spirit. What is it? Sat Chit Anand. There is no tinge of material thing inside it. Our body is completely made of matter, this body. And it is, we are covered. Our actual Swarupa is covered by this matter. But it is not with the Lord. He is unlimited. We are little ansha of it. What are we? We are also Satchidanand. But the entire Satchidanand Swarup has been covered by gross body and subtle body. Our body, spirit, soul is covered by. There is nothing like subtle body or gross body for Lord Krishna. It's total spirit. That we have to understand. So never consider and try to see Him in the material level and think that His body is like. That's why unintelligent men think that I was Nirakar first and then I have taken this form. That is what the shloka says. Because sometimes people have a conception, as I told you yesterday, Lord is to be understood in the three ways. Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Three pakshas. Like if you want to know sun. Sun, there are sun light, sun planet and sun god. Or if you want to know Tata company, there are Tata product, Tata factory and Tata owner. Right? You cannot say just by seeing the Tata car that this is Tata. There are quite three different things. Like sun rays is sunlight only. But it is not sun god. There is a quite difference. It's a part of Him. What is it? So we have to understand all the levels. Brahma level, Paramatma level and Bhagavan level. Three things. We cannot mix all the things. Like we have the tendency in our life to mix the body and soul requirement as same. So we have to understand very nicely that spiritual requirement is different, bodily requirement are different. We cannot see our, then what to speak about Lord? That's why do not put Lord in the human category. Which category? Yes. That is the reason unintelligent try to put him in the human category. He cannot come in the human category. Okay. So now let us start with the topic. What is not yoga? Is this, this picture? What is this? If you open Google, you will find yoga for blood pressure. What? Yoga for physical and mental health. They will give you chance office yoga. Huh? Then this is German yoga. It is written in Germany. Cat yoga. What is this? Then, stretching and relaxation in chair yoga. Then yoga for wealth, yoga for business, tennis yoga, desktop yoga, pregnancy yoga, weight loss yoga, every yoga. Huh? Actually, all this is not the purpose of yoga. This is all on the material platform. Which platform? Yoga is purely meant for spiritual things. What is yoga? It's a process. Yoga is a process. Like education is a process from kindergarten to graduation, right? It's a big process, education. Similarly, yoga is a process of linking ourselves with the Supreme. First of all, people do not know what is ourself. And secondly, they do not know the Supreme God. They try to think that the body is ourself. What? Body is me. And they have very vivid conception of Supreme. Supreme Lord. Who is Supreme Lord? They have their way of understanding. We have scriptures ways of understanding. Because we know we are imperfect, but scriptures are perfect. So when we take the shelter of perfect, whatever we say is also perfect. But when we come on the mental level, on Anuman Praman and Pratyaksha Praman and that type of Praman, then it is not 100% right. So people first of all do not know that we are spirit souls. We are. And the second thing, who is Supreme Lord, with whom we have to connect, that is also not known. And then they try to practice what? Yoga. Yujyati iti yoga. Yujyati yoga. That which unites is yoga. The word I told you, Vyoga and yoga. Now why this yoga? On the first day we learned that we are spirit soul. Yesterday we learned Lord Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So our primary duty is to connect with Lord. The requirement of the part is to love and serve and cooperate the whole. What he has to do? It has to love and serve and cooperate with the whole. That it is primary function. It has to remain united with him. And that's why yoga is required. That's why yoga is required. And Agni Puran says, perfect union of Jivatma with Paramatma is yoga. Chapter number 372. Now then, Prabhuji, all these different yogas which we are seeing in the name of yoga, what is that? That also will Prabhuji cover today. That comes in Patanjali Yoga system. And Lord Krishna has vividly mentioned in the 6th chapter about that thing. But that it is not possible in this yoga. This is Kali Yuga. Which Yuga? There are certain conditions for it. And there are different types of yogas. We will consider all types of yoga. And which is most suitable yoga for Kali Yuga, which can be easily practiced, and the ultimate aim of perfect union with the Lord can be achieved. And who has practiced that type of yoga in the past? That also we will learn. Yes, Patanjali Yoga system. One time what happened, Prabhuji? One person was going to yoga classes, and he was asked, how you are feeling after going to yoga classes? So he says, I am feeling now very nice. What nice? What type of nice? Previously, whenever I used to drink beer, I used to get immediately cold next day. But after practicing yoga, cold is not coming. Cold is not coming. So my health is okay now. Huh? So, types of yoga, please write it down. How many types of yogas are there? Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Ashtanga yoga and Bhakti yoga. You can write it from here. All these yogas are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, but ultimately Lord speaks about the final yoga, which is called as Bhakti Yoga. This Karma Kand section, now we will go to the lowest section. Which section first? Lowest section. Then we will reach step by step to the highest level. How many species are there? Anybody knows? 84 lakh species. Very nice. Human species is very less in that. 4 lakh species. And if you understand this human species, it can be divided into 2 parts. The first part is called immoral, inatheistic people. Majority of people in human life are interested in eating, sleeping, mating and defending. And below that, there is one more level which is called atheistic people. Which people? They do not at all believe in God. They do not at all believe in the concept of soul. They do not at all believe in the concept of karma reactions or nature of law. They have their way of moral way. They have moral. If you drink little in your house, na? It's good. Why disturb others? Play little gambling in your circle. Don't play more. Huh? You want to do party? Do party. But in a do not disturb others. What? Meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex life. They tell it in a very, moderate way you can do and it is okay. For them, if it satisfies the senses, it is good. And if it is hurting them, it is bad. So they have their moral of saying, like abortion. Previously, it was immoral. But nowadays, it has become a normal, moral state. Please, have abortion. So this type of people manufacture their way of morality. But what is morality? Morality is described as a standard by which Lord is satisfied, not any humans. Who is satisfied? Supreme Lord is satisfied. This type of people are hard believers in hard working. What they say? You work hard and enjoy today. They believe in Nike slogan. You know what is Nike? What they say? Just do it. What they say? Just do it. Don't worry about tomorrow. Who has seen tomorrow? Enjoy today. You are the controller, you are the sculptor and everything. Enjoy today. Why? See? Tomorrow. Hook or by crook. Enjoy. Now a nightlife. Huh? And they work very hard. For them money is honey. And they say if you work then only you'll get work. They live to that philosophy. Which philosophy? Without that you won't get. And they say that all these people, spiritual people, are mad. What are they? Because they don't have any work, that's why they are doing. But actually, what is the definition of madness or craziness? Can anybody explain me what is craziness? Right. When person loses the senses or sense of identity, it is called crazy. Prabhuji, now from last 3 days, if we are only body, not spirit soul, we are not spirit soul. We take that assumption that we are only body, not spirit soul. Then last 3 days what we are doing is total craziness. Total? Why? Because we are talking something else. And we are something, we are body. But if we are not body and we are spirit soul, then whatever outside is happening is a loss of sense of identity. What we have? Sense of identity. People forgetting their self. Like you go in a mental hospital, you will find 2 people. Normal person going, say a mad person aaya. They will say, mad person has come. And all their plannings of this type of people are centered around fear. They have always fear, anxiety. This type of people, are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter. We'll read little bit so that you can understand what is their mentality. It Lord says about this type of people. 16th chapter, please remove few verses. So, we can understand what is the lowest level of person thinking. Sixteenth chapter, few verses, 4-5 verses we'll read fast to understand. I'll tell you.
656. 656.
655, start with 655. Mataji can read 655, 5th verse. We will from 5th to 10th verse we will read. Yeah, the transcendental qualities.
The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities.
Yeah, read further.
O son of Pritha,
Okay.
in this world there are 2 kinds of created beings,
One is called the divine and the other demonic.
Demonic. So what we are trying to understand, which nature we are trying to understand? Demonic nature. We are going from the lowest level to the highest level.
I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demonic.
Yeah. Seventh.
Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in
Such people are totally, first of all, what is wrong they think that is right, and what is right they will think that is wrong. Another is no cleanliness, not outer cleanliness or inner cleanliness, and you will never find truth at all in this type of people. Read further. Prabhuji, Prabhuji, you read. They say
that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex, desire, and has no cause.
very important. Such type of people do not believe in law of nature, no God. For them there is no God, and they say it is just produced for enjoyment. This world is just produced for what? You have to enjoy. Read further.
Following such conclusions, the demonic, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the body.
Yes, these people only can do two things: horrible and destroying others. They are meant for that type of people. Read further.
Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demonic, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent.
Always engaged in wrong work, illicit sex life, gambling, intoxication, the fourth part, in meat eating, everything, in all wrong things they are engaged. Read further behind. They believe. Shlok number 11-12.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by
Illegal means for sense gratification. They always are worried how to acquire money at any cost just to satisfy my senses. Please read further.
The demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today,
I have so much thing today. Then
and I will gain more according to my
schemes.
So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I will kill him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
Read further. Thus perplexed.
Thus perplexed by various
Anxieties and bound by
network
of illusion.
They become too strongly attached to
Sense enjoyment and fall down to hell. And three gates of hell is further mentioned: Kama, Krodha and Lobh. They are interested in all these three things. So this category doesn't come in civilized person. This category doesn't come in. They are the downest category of animalistic level. Which level? And this type of people are sure to get an animal body in next life. Now, little about this. We called as Sakam Karmi. What we called them? Please write it down. Sakam Karmi. Now, what is the difference between this type of category of people and this Sakam Karmi? Is that this Sakam Karmi wants also sense enjoyment. Which sense enjoyment? bodily sense enjoyment, but they will try to follow some rules and regulations. They follow certain rules and regulations, like they go to Somwar, Shivji, they go to Mangalwar to walking, to Siddhi Vinayak, or Wednesday they go to church, or Thursday they go to Sai Baba, Friday they go to Santoshi Mata, Shanivar they may go to Hanumanji, or on Sunday Agnal Baba. Nay, means they, for one day they will start, they have certain faith and they pray that this problems get solved and I can become happy by that. So these categories are termed little above because they fear something and they have little faith in rules and human life means rules and regulations. Animal life means no rules and no regulations. So at least they follow certain rules and regulations. Why they follow? Because they want bodily life to be okay. My bodily life at least becomes happy. So they follow certain rules. Like the Gatari Amavas comes. Anybody knows about Gatari Amavas? What happens? Before Shravan. They drink a lot.
They eat all non-veg.
Why?
Because for the next month they are not going to eat anything.
So all is compensated in one day. Then they will follow. So such categories of people come in Sakam Karma. At least they are doing some rules and regulations as per their some scriptures.
They are following some rules and
Yes. At least they are following some rules and regulations in their life. Their motive is that sense gratification, but in a good way. Which way? Good way. Then after this comes, we called Nishkam Karma. Which comes? This is Sakam Karmi. Then after this comes the third stage. Which stage? Nishkam Karma. And here we are going to discuss the karma topic.
Sir, this first category you told,
Yeah.
that what is karma? Those people who find it,
Animalistic category.
no, the karma, like
This is coming in demonic karma. Lord is saying, what is the chapter? Divine and demonic. So this all are animalistic and demonic karma, where people are definitely going to go in hell as per Bhagavad Gita. This type of life. Animalistic life. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. They create problem for themselves also and they create problem for others also. Unless and until other people are not disturbed, they don't feel happy. By disturbing others, creating problem others, they feel very happy. So, above this comes Nishkam Karma Yoga. Which Karma Yoga? Sakam Karma Yoga, then Nishkam Karma. And the famous Bhagavad Gita shlok supplies over here. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bruma ma te sangostva karmani. And an example that is given for this is about a mother. How mother serves the child, but she doesn't have any expectation from the child out of her causeless love from childhood. Even the child becomes whatever, she is serving her. She is serving her without any expectation. So that example is given, and we will explain this shloka very nicely. Karmanya 2.47. The shlok number is 2.47. Second chapter, 47 first number. Karmanyavadhikaraste. What is the meaning? Karmanya adhikaraste. You have the adhikar. You have the right of doing your karma. It is divided into 4 parts. This shlok, any shlok of Bhagavad Gita or any Sanskrit, it is divided in 4 parts. Always remember, it is in 4 lines. So the first line says, Karmanya adhikarastere. You have your rights. What do you have? Rights to perform. But when you see a sailboat, sometime, sail, 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 sail. But they put a star down. You can't see also. Conditioned applied. So Lord is also saying, you have your rights. People speak about their rights, But then Lord puts 3 conditions. What? Ma, ma, ma. In ma in Sanskrit means no. What? No, no, no. What? So ma phaleshu kadachina. No rights to the result. Phala, I will give. You have the right to write the paper, but what marks you will get, that you can't decide. Who will decide? I will decide. Ma phaleshu katachana. You cannot ever decide what result you are going to get. You can do your work, but result I reserve. What time, what day, which time to be given the result, I reserve that. Second condition, ma karma phala hetur bhru. Never consider, like if you are doing something good and result comes positive, never consider yourself to be the cause of the result. Never? Cause of, and start taking credit for it. That because of me, it has happened. Like, yesterday we had seen about that Wimbledon player. Huh? What he told? When I was holding, that time I didn't ask, why Lord I am holding this? Huh? Why me? And why should I ask him today, why me, when I am suffering from cancer? Huh? So, you never consider ma phaleshu, ma karma phala hetu. The karma phala hetu is not because of you. Never consider your to be the cause of the, I start taking the credit. Like sometimes we see in business also, 2 people start same business, same place, same investment, but one is earning nicely and other is not at all working, is going in losses. Same effort, we will find everywhere. In the life also we will see some students working hard, doing, but one is not getting career and other is getting nice. Huh? So result is never you, and never consider yourself to be the cause of the result. And the last, mate sangostva akarmani. Lord is saying, first of all, the karma I will decide. Now, and the result also you should not take credit. Then what is the use of doing the karma? It's like government office. Whether you go or don't go, salary is pakka. You work or not work, put only present mark, right? So then why we should do work? Then the last condition Lord is putting with the adhikara. Never be attached in non-doing your duties. Never be attached in not doing your duty. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activities. So 3 conditions. But do not be entitled fruit of action. First condition. Second condition, never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activities. And the last, never be attached in not doing your. People only know about bodily duties. People only know about, but they fail to understand their prime duties as spirit soul. What I being spirit soul, what is my prime duty? I being a human being, what is my higher duty? They fail to understand. And they live their life on animalistic level. So, this shlok is a shlok for Nishkama Karma Yoga. Which Karma Yoga? Nishkama Karma Yoga, and the example that is given is of a mother. That how mother serves the child, but she doesn't have any expectation. Or she doesn't takes the credit also for it. Somebody says, no, I'm doing it. And she is continuously doing it. So that comes in the category of Nishkama Karma Yoga. And from here, we will start understanding the principle of karma. What is karma? What is karma law? According to Bhagavad Gita, which are the things which leads you to do karma? So let us define karma first. What is karma? Karma is termed as material activities. What it is termed as? Material bodily activities. Which is conditioned by three modes of nature and time. Three modes of nature and time. It has to work, bodily action has to work according to three modes of nature. So karma is defined as bodily action. What action? Bodily action which is conditioned by three modes of nature, that is goodness, passion and ignorance. You can write in the bracket goodness, passion and ignorance. And also conditioned by time. Passion and ignorance. Ignorance. So this is karma definition. Now what is karma law? Let us understand karma law. First famous law of physics, every action has same law applies for the karma, right? First law. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. Then there are three types of karmas: good karma, bad karma, and akarma, or which we call as divine or transcendental karma. In bracket you can write divine or transcendental karma. And the word that is used in the 4th chapter, you will see the shloka number where Lord is speaking about the three types of karma. 4th chapter. (4.70), where Lord uses these words. Karmanya api hi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmana, akarmascha bodhavyam, gahano karmano gati. 4.17. So he speaks about three types of karma: karma, vikarma and akarma. What he speaks about? 14.7. 4.7. 17, sorry. 4.17. Karma, vikarma and akarma. Karma is termed as good karma. Which karma? Write it down. Karma means good karma. Vikarma means bad karma. Now, there are instant reactions and there are delayed reactions of karma reactions. Write it down. In karma, there may be instant reactions of some karma reaction and there may be some delayed reactions. instant reaction, for example, is given if you hit somebody. What happens? An instant reaction comes. And delayed reactions is like you eat in a party very heavily. You enjoyed. Night you go to sleep, but next day morning the problem starts. Next day morning, problem starts. So that we call as a delayed reaction. What we call as? That delayed reaction may be from one day to one lifetime or many lifetime also. It can be from one day to many lifetime. Like you see, somebody is having cancer or somebody is having AIDS or somebody any disease. It's not that day he has contacted that disease. It's long back that the seeds are sown. And then after in the first stage, second stage, after that you come to know, arey, this person is having this thing. So the reactions you will see on a later stage. Then there are individual reactions and collective reactions. Somebody, what is collective reactions? You can see the Somalia, entire country is suffering. Somalia. Or you go to the Europe, entire Europe, Switzerland, Europe are continuously enjoying. It's a collective karma. Which karma? Collective karma, where the entire society is suffering because of some reason. Individual karmas are that individual is only suffering, either good or bad. Either good or bad. Sometime in the house you will see one person enjoying or one person suffering because of many others. So that comes in individual and collective suffering. Then no good karma. Law is there. No good karma can cut bad karmas. When you do good karmas, pious activities, what do you do? And what is pious activities? It's mentioned in the 16th chapter. Take out the 16th chapter where you will understand what are pious activities, divine activities. What do you become? Yeah. Because of which reactions? Mixed karma. Bad karma, you become an animal. But because of mixed karma, what happens? Somebody is there in the Mercedes cars to take care of you. So, no good karmas can cut the every bad. Now, sometimes we ask in the society why good people are suffering. An example, scripture says about a farmer. When a farmer is cultivating a land, he is not taking care properly because of recklessness. What happens? That crops that he got is not of that good quality. It is not that of the best quality after 3 months. But he cannot throw it away. Now he can't. So they have a storehouse. What they have? In which they store. But this time, he takes care properly that whatever I will do, I will see it. No, I will take care nicely. So 3 months he takes care nicely. And he gets good crop. Now he again stores in a same place where he had stored that they have a depot in that. Now what happened? When he was putting that good grains, he was removing the old one. What he was removing? So there was a small child and he made a conclusion. If you put good, what do you get? You get bad. Then after 3 months, again the crops got bad because of natural disaster. What happened? Like rain came and everything 50% destroyed. Now again he stored the same thing up. after few months, storage place. Now he again is removing the old one. So now what he is getting? All the good ones are coming out. So now the child is saying, what the child is saying? You put bad thing, so what you will get? So this is my conclusion. What is this? Whatever we have sowed, you see, karma reactions are so deep, we cannot understand. It may pass from life to life. It can go from life to life. I will, Bhishma Dev, he was lying on the arrow bed. And he was asked, why? So he says in one of the life, when he was traveling, he had put a snake in and thrown away in the bushes. And that bushes was thorny bushes. Which bushes? So that thorn have came in the form of arrows. But you ask Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was saying, my all children have died. Not a single remained. What was such karma that I had to suffer? So he was a hunter in one life. Which life? Hunter in one life, where he had actually captured the entire tree with the net, and there were 100 children, and he had put a fire down. So with the smoke, all the children had died, and the main person got blind. You know the Shravan Kumar story, that how Dashrath Maharaj was listening and Shravana died, and for that you can understand how he had also suffer the same way.
His son, when Rama went to
Yeah. So karma reactions are very deep. It cannot leave. I'll tell you a very nice story of Mundak Rishi. Which Rishi? Mundak Rishi was a very powerful sage, and he was meditating in his ashram. And few thieves, gang of thieves entered his ashram, running. Why? Because the soldiers were running, behind them. So to take shelter, they entered in his ashram and they hid inside the kutir. The Rishi didn't knew about it. He was in his tapasya, so he was not aware of all these things. And the soldiers came and they searched and they found the entire gang, and with the gang they took the Rishi also. They took the Rishi also, and they went to the palace, and the king was informed that the gang is caught. What has to be done? King told immediately execute them. What has to be done? By morning they should all be executed. The king doesn't know that the Rishi is also caught with them. Entire night the Mundak Rishi was spending over there in the jail, and next morning when he was taken out, the ministers were there, and ministers saw that this Rishi is wrongly caught. He is the powerful Rishi. Why he has been caught over here? And he informed the king, and king immediately came and asked forgiving in front of the Rishi. And that time Rishi was smiling. That it is not your fault. Entire night only I was thinking, what karma I have done, I have to now spend entire night in the jail, and I have to be executed in the morning. By my yogic power, I can recall that I have not done anything wrong. And you are just an instrument. What are you? I will directly go to Yamraj. Which place? And find out what happened and for which karma reaction he gave me this result. He is Dharmaraj. So by his yogic power, he immediately went to Yamaraj. And Yamaraj started worshipping Mundak Rishi. And he is told that I want one answer. Why I was punished? Why? Punished. Because by my yogic power I can recall many things in my life. Not of this life, many other lives also. Why I should be punished for severely? I have to be just hanged. Then Chitragupta was called and see for which reaction this reaction came. and they searched and said that everything is clean slate. What is it? But one thing is there. In childhood, he used to play in the garden, and in the garden, there were butterflies, small butterflies. So he used to take grasses and perk them. What he used to do? And give them pain. So that pain has multiplied and it had to come in this way. What? That pain has come and it had to be given in this way. So the Mundik Rishi was very upset. I was child. I didn't know. This is your law, what? I curse you. You become a Shudra. And next life, he became Vidur in Mahabharata. Vidur is none other than Yamraj. Now, let us read the bad karmas. What are bad karmas? Vikarmas. Please pass it on this paper. Over here also. What are different types of bad karmas? This is from 5th canto. Which canto? And chapter number 26 in Srimad Bhagavatam, where it speaks about hellish planet. Which planet? Hellish planet. Which people go in hell? Please read, Mataji.
The 26th chapter describes how a sinful man goes to different lengths and is punished in various ways by assistant of Yamraj.
Yeah.
As stated before.
Yes.
The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of three modes of material nature, feels himself to be the doer of activities, which are in actuality carried out by nature. He thinks there is no God or regulative principle and that he can do whatever he likes. Thus, he engages in different sinful activities and as a result, he put into different hellish conditions, life after life, to be punished by the laws of nature. The basic principle of his suffering is that he foolishly thinks himself independent, although he is strictly under the control of the laws of material nature.
Read further.
These laws act due to the influence of the three modes of nature, and therefore each human being also works under three different types of influence. According to how he acts, he suffers different reactions in his next life or in this life. Religious persons act differently from atheists, and therefore they suffer different reactions. Shukdev Goswami describes the following 28.
How many hells are there?
28.
28 varieties of hell are there. For different varieties of bad reactions. Andha Tamishra, Raurava, Maharorav, Kumbhipaka, Kalasutra, Asipatrabana, Sukharmukha, Andhakupa, Krimi Bhojana, Sandamasa, Tapta Surmi, Vajrakantha, and so many are there. So now we'll directly start with the next paragraph. A person.
Person who steals another's money, wife or possessions is put into the hell known as a Tamasra.
So, when you steals money, anyone's possession and wife, in which hell we are put it? Tamishra. Well, Tamishra means total darkness. Where? Total darkness.
A man who tricks someone and enjoys his wife is put into the extremely hellish condition known as Andhakta.
This falls in illicit category. Which category it falls in? Illicit category.
A foolish person absorbs in the bodily concept of life, who on the basis of this principle maintains himself or his wife and children by committing violence against other living entities, is put into the hell known as Raulava.
This is an animalistic way of life, where he is only interested in what way? Himself and his family, eating, sleeping, betting and defending.
The animals he killed take birth as creatures called the Ruros and cause great suffering for him. Those who kill different animals and birds and then cook them and are put in the agents of Yam Raja into the hell known as Kumbhi Paka.
You know what is the speciality of this Kumbhi Paka? Hell? There is a very big, Kumbhi Pak. Pak means what? Pakana. Kumbhi Pak means Pakana. The people, how many non-veg you have eaten, that many time you will be fried over there. There is an oil over there. How many time? That many time you have to be fried. And the speciality of this hellish planet is that you get a special body which is called as Yatana Sharir, which is the size of the thumb. How much? Like in normal police station also, they have a very special training how to beat a person. How to? They have a belt, leather belt, and they directly hit on your head, thumb. And they it comes, strikes. They know which point of the legs to be hidden. Means the total pain is there, but marking are not there. What is there? Similarly, there is a special body given in hell where severe pain is there, but you don't die. Even if you are fried, so that burning, that total pain is given, but you won't die in the Kumbhi Pak. So that many time, which time you are fried, so that many time in oil we are fried. So that is speciality of Kumbhi Pak. Please read further.
But Prabhu, who is eating non-veg food out of ignorance, or they have been forced?
Ignorance is not an excuse out of law. You go in a court and tell the judge that law, I don't know the law. Why should you punish me? What the judge? Huh?
No, but for example, a 2-year-old child, if his mother is feeding him with
That is his past karma reaction going on. What do we say? Because of the past karma reaction, this bad karma is going on. Knowing, unknowingly it is happening. So this life is a small hint, as I told you. It's a cumulative of many, many lives. As I told you, in Kali Yuga, 5,000 years have gone. How many years have gone? And if you calculate as per the principle of Bhagavad Gita, Jatasya hi dhruva mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmat pariharyate, means every time you have taken birth means you have died previously. So if you calculate in Kali Yuga only, at least 50 times you have died, human life. How much? And this is 51. This is? 51. Then what to speak about Treta, then Dwapara and Satyuga? So many reactions are there. And it is not guaranteed that every time you will get a human life only. Because as per your mentality you get a next birth. So knowing, unknowingly also, ignorance is like a person coming from, we give this example normally, from a village, and he enters the Bombay, in the morning time he goes in the Bombay train to, first time he is landing, Bombay Central, and he wants to enter and go to some other station, and he sees the lot of, rush. He tries to enter and he is pushed out automatically. But every time he shows in one dabba, little less rush is there. So he tries to enter in that compartment and he is very happy. But when the TC is there and he is asking ticket, he shows the normal ticket and he says this is first class compartment. What he says? So then he says I didn't knew. So what will the TC say? Sorry. First pay, then you will know. Huh? So ignorance, ignorance of law is never an excuse for
doing it bad.
It is working or not? First find out. ठीक है? Okay, read further. Kumbhi Pak.
where they are boiled in oil.
Oil, yeah.
A person who kills a Brahman is put into the hell known as the
Kala Sutra.
Sutra, where the land, perfectly level and made of copper, is as hot as an oven. The killer of the Brahman burns in that land for many years. One who does not follow, put into the hell known as Asi Patravana, a government officer who poorly administers justice or who punishes an innocent man, is taken by the assistance of Yamaraja to the hell known as the Sukharamokha, where he is mercilessly beaten.
Pass it on. This hell is houseful in Kali Yuga, actually. Sukha Mukha. Huh?
What happens about the गंगा स्नान करते हैं, ये बड़े-बड़े जो अपना कुंभ करते हैं.
That's what I'm, as in, no, good karmas cannot burn the bad karmas. That is the principle. If you rob a bank, what do you do? Rob a bank. And morning you start distributing the money in the poor. What will the government say?
The Puranas, many times we have come across these statements. ये आप करते रहिए, जो पुराने आपका कर्म है सब कट जाए.
No. That's why we have to understand to the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. There will be good karma, bad karmas and mixed karmas. And only akarmic. Now we'll come to the akarma part. Which part? Unless and until we do not come. Otherwise, why going to heaven and coming over here? If you are doing good karma, okay. Then you will be putting over here. Again.
The philosophy is very strange in many respects which I am seeing. At one point it is saying this, another point it is saying something different.
No. We have to understand the complete philosophy. Then we can comment. Now we are coming to good, bad. Now we'll come to akarma philosophy. Which karma philosophy? Let us complete the akarma philosophy.
I was just thinking about the people who are doing pest control in the house. How many thousands are being fixed? And in the gardens, millions of insects are being fixed.
So so what is going to happen to them? It is also written over here.
It's endless.
It is very tragedy. Prabhuji, it is very tragedy. That's why this world is termed as Dukhalay. What is it termed as?
I think only the Krishna believers will understand what this is. Others who are not believing Krishna have no knowledge about it. And neither they are concerned.
So people who are, ignorance is, they say, is a bliss.
In Islam, he says there is no such law. Take it to the other religion, there is no such law.
No, there is a law. Please understand. But fanatic understanding and principle understanding, as I told you, there are two types of followers in every religion. In Hindus also you will find fanatic and religion. That's why we have to understand the law properly. Please read further.
God has given advanced consciousness to the human being.
Yeah. See, what is Lord saying? We have given you what consciousness? Advanced consciousness. Therefore, He can feel the suffering and happiness of other living beings.
The human being, bereft of his consciousness, however, is prone to cause sufferings for other living beings. The assistance of Yamaraj put such a person into the hell
known Andhakupa. So here, what you are speaking about pest control and living entities, which when you kill a mosquito, what do you kill? Even a mosquito. It is said that he is a very small entity. He doesn't know that the pain is happening to you. What? But at least you know if somebody's life is taken. How much pain? Killing should be the last resort. What? And cleaning, all this is a sign of uncleanliness. What is it?
So how do you identify which mosquito is going to hit you and put you in trouble?
No. What I am trying to say, Lord is trying to say, there are preventive measures. What do you have? Killing should be last resort. If you can prevent, Plus, now we will come to the last karma topic, then you will understand this theory more perfectly. But this is law. What is law? Ignorance, not knowing all these things, and you start randomly, there is a consequences. There is a consequences. Please understand one thing. You know, Hitler used to put all this in the gas chambers, and they used to suffer. It's not that by chance. There may be some past reasons. Collective reactions of every action has equal and opposite reaction. Please, this is the law. You cannot escape. And you cannot say, I didn't knew the law, that's why I have to be pardoned. No. You have been given higher intelligence. If you have misused, if you are not used, then it is your fault. You used, but used for what? Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. The purpose of the human life, gone. Please read further, Prabhuji. Huh? The assistants.
The assistants of Yamaraj put such a person into the hell known as Andhakopa, where he receives proper punishment from his victims. Any person who does not receive or feed a guest properly, but who personally enjoys eating, is put into the hell known as
Krimi
Bhojana. There are unlimited number of worms and insects continuously bite him.
A thief.
A thief is?
A thief is put into the hell known as Sandamsa. A person who has sexual relations with a woman who is not to be enjoyed is put into the hell known as Tapta Sumi.
Tapta Surmi is also a very special hell, where iron ladies and iron purushas are made. What are they made? Iron. And they are made to have association with it. That's why that is called Tapta. What is it called as? Tapta Surumi.
A person who enjoys sexual relations with animals is put into the hell known as Vajra Kantaka Salmali. A person born into an aristocratic or highly placed family but who does not act accordingly is put into the hellish trench of blood, pus and urine called the Vaitarni river. One who lives like an animal is put into the hell called Puyoda. A person who mercilessly kills animals in the forest without sanction is put into the hell called Pranarodha. A person who kills animals in the name of religious sacrifice is put into the hell named Visasana. A man who forces his wife to drink his semen is put into the hell called Lal Bhaksa. One who sets a fire or administers poison to kill someone is put into the hell known as Sarmeya Dana. A man who earns his livelihood by bearing false witness is put into the hell known as Avisi.
Please give behind.
A person addicted to drinking wine is put into the hell named Ayapana.
This also is very special hell, Ayapana. Here the iron is malted. What is it done? And that many packs you are you can drink. How many packs you had?
One who violates etiquette by not showing proper respect to superiors is put into the hell known as Kasara Kardama. A person who sacrifices human beings to Bhairava is put into the hell called Rakshogana Bhojana. A person who kills pet animals is put into the hell called Sulaprota. A person who gives trouble to others is put into the hell known as Danda Sukha. One who imprisons a living entity within a cave is put into the hell known as Avata Nirodhana. A person who shows unwarranted wrath towards a guest in his house is put into the hell called Paryavartana. A person maddened by poisoning riches and thus deeply absorbed in thinking of how to collect money, is put into the hell known as Sukhi Mukha.
Last paragraph.
After describing the hellish planet, Sukadeva Goswami describes how pious persons are elevated to the highest planetary system, where the demigods live, and how they then come back again to this earth when the result of their pious activities are finished. Finally, he describes the universal form of the Lord and glorifies the Lord's activities.
So here we little bit briefly we have discussed about hellish planets or what karmas? Bad karmas. So good karmas, bad karmas, and now we will come to akarma. Which karma? Why akarma? Because if somebody wants to do only good karma to stop his bad karma, law is not going to accept it. You will get the result of both at a different period, at a different time. But in this way, there is no end to the chakra of karma reaction. How to get out of it? It is very difficult. Unknowingly also, even if you try, you can't save yourself from, after reading all this, you can't save yourself from sinful things. So how to get out of it? That's why in the 9th chapter, Lord speaks about the akarmic thing. What is akarma? Let us first understand what is akarma. You have seen wars happening at the border. A soldier is killing, what is doing the job over there? Killing people over there. The more he kills, what he is given? Reward. Which Paramveer Chakra, Mahavir Chakra, lot of money. For what he is getting? Killing the people over there at the border. When he gets that, he is very happy. So one day what happened, such person, when he got that Mahavir Chakra, all this, he came back to his village. And there he had a party, drinking party. And in the drinking party, he had a fight with some people over there, neighbor. And he used the same gun which he used at the border to shoot him. And he killed that person. Now, which chakra we have to give to him? Now, what he will be given? Punishment. See, activity was same. Killing at the border and killing over here. But what is the difference? Why two different results?
There his duty was to kill them.
Okay.
He was assigned them intention.
There he was doing it for the government and the country. Here he is doing for himself. So, law says when you do karma for yourself, you are bound for 3 types of reaction: good, bad and mixed. What you are bound by? But when you do activities for pleasing the Lord or for the satisfaction of the Lord, or you do activities only on the level of soul and for the satisfaction of Lord, then that comes in akarma. That comes in akarma. Like in the 9th chapter, Lord says, Yat karoshi yad ashnashi yad juhoshi dadashi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat purushva madarpanam. 9.27 shlok number. Read somebody who has the mic. Who has the mic? Prabhuji? Give it further. Prabhuji, you read. These 2 shlokas, 27 and 28.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Why? What will happen? In the next paragraph, the next verse.
In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results.
So, when you do in this way of karma, you will be freed from the good result as well as the bad result.
With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me.
So, this is called akarma. What is it called as? Activities which are not done for your satisfaction but for the satisfaction of the Lord. Then that category of karma comes in akarma. So when you do activities for that type of karmas, and this akarma is divided into 9 types, 9 part. Write it down. What is 9 ways of doing akarma? Shravanam. First is Shravanam. Second is Kirtanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Pada Sevanam. Archanam. Dasyam. Sakhyam. And last is Atma Nivedanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam. Vandanam is missed out. Vandanam, right? Sakhyam. Now we'll explain one. What is Shravanam activity? Now last 3 days when you are sitting over here, you were listening, that activity is called Shravanam. What is it called as? What is the benefit of Shravanam? When you are doing akarmic activities, your past reaction cannot touch you. Your past, an example of is given in the Shastra of Ajamil. Ajamil's story is there. He was a very sinful person. But at the time of the death, somehow he was able to take his son's name. And his son's name was what? Narayana. What happened? No. At that time, Yamadutas had came to take him and punish him. But Lord's Dut came at this time, he is taking the Lord's name. You cannot touch him at this time. You cannot touch him. And that time, they were forced to leave him. And he was so intelligent that when he was left, he immediately left the house. And for 20 years, he non-stop chanted the holy name. How many years? 20 years. And after 20 years, in Bhagavatam, again the same Dutas came and took him to Vaikuntha. So when we are doing akarma, you remove the 3rd chapter where Lord is speaking about this thing. Page number 152, shlok number 3.9. And before that, let us read some verses. Page number 148. Take out 148. Who has the mic so you can pass it on further? We'll read few verses, 3-4 verses to understand this thing. Page number 5. Please read, Mataji. Shlok number 3.5. Everyone is forced.
Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment.
Not even for a moment you can stop doing karma. not even for a moment. Everybody has to do some or other karma. So when you are doing karma, there has to be a reaction. It will be either good, either bad, or either mix. Mix. Now, intelligence is that we stop this cycle. What we do, stop this? The cycle of new karma reaction. That is intelligence. That I don't want new set of karma reactions to happen in my life. Whatever is there, let me burn it off. And that's why we'll read further what Lord suggests. 6th and 7th. Please read 6th and 7th. Verse 6 and 7. Give it to.
One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called pretender.
On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior.
Please read further.
Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work.
So how one has to do work, it is written in this important verse 3.9. Read Mataji, 3.9.
Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material.
Very important line. Work we have to do for whose satisfaction? Lord's satisfaction. Then it will not cause a bondage. Then it will not cause a bondage. Otherwise, it will be a big bondage in a good, bad, and mixed reaction. Read. Therefore,
O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage.
Free from karma bondage. So, actions have to be done for whose satisfaction? Lord's satisfaction. And if actions center around bodily satisfaction, it will give you a reaction. So when you do actions in this 9 categories, Shravanam, what do we call this? So what is happening? Knowing unknowingly, this akarmic fire, your past karmas are getting, what is it getting? Burned away. Shravanam Bhakti. Then what is the second? Kirtanam, taking the holy name, chanting the holy name and speaking about Lord. That also comes in akarmic action. Which karma? That also helps you to burn your past karmas. Third is what? Remembrance. When you do chanting and when you do listening, remembrance will automatically come. Whatever you listen and whatever you speak, that only you remember. So remembrance of Lord's pastimes and Lord activities, or thinking how I can satisfy the Lord, that also burns your past karmas. Fourth is, see, Shravanam Bhakti was done by Parikshit Maharaj. You can write Parikshit Maharaj. Example is of Parikshit Maharaj. That how at the time of death, 7 days were left. How many days were left? He did what? Only listening, hearing. And Kirtanam is Shukdev Goswami Maharaj. Vishnu Smaranam is Prahlad Maharaj. Then Pada Sevan is Lakshmi Ji. Example is Lakshmi Ji. Archanam is there. Puja is Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj. Vandanam, then comes Vandanam, which I have written last. That is for Akrur ji. Dasyam comes Hanumanji. Hanumanji. What does Hanumanji do? He is always interested in two things. Either chanting the Ram Nam or Ram Seva. No third thing. And that's why you will see Hanumanji being a perfect example of dasya bhav, servant. And you will see in a temple also, we do side, dandavat. You have seen in a temple, they don't do straight. Right? People normally do straight, but here we do on side. Why? Because we follow Hanumanji. You have seen Hanumanji?
Yes.
How does he do pranam? He is always on the side and doing the pranam. So we are followers of Hanumanji and the dasya bhav. Then comes Sakhya bhav, Arjuna. And Atma Nivedana is Bali Maharaj. Friendly, Sakhya. Like when you do worship, so many types of worships are there. That also helps in burning your past karmas. Archanam, Vandanam, prayers. There are a lot of good prayers which are there in the scriptures. When you sing nicely with full-heartedly in front of Lord, that also helps you to burn your past karmas. Then Dasyam, as I told you about Hanumanji, how he is showing an example of always taking the Ram Naam and Ram Seva. That also helps in burning your past karmas. And Dasyam, Sakhyam. You become very much close to Lord and try to serve Him in the mood of a friend, like the Gopals, the cows, and they served. And the last is Bali Maharaj, where he surrendered everything to Lord, whatever he had. Now, if we are doing stuti of devatas, which category of karma it will fall? Will it fall in akarma or it will fall in good karmas? It will fall in good karma, not in akarma. What it falls in? Good karmas. That's why Lord specifically says, if you worship a devata, you will go to a demigod's planet. Which planet? But when you worship me exclusively, then you come to go to the place where you don't have to come back again. That is called, yesterday we read the chapter that is called Paramdhama, where the Vedanta is called as the ultimate gold. Paramdham, that is my abode. When going over there, nobody comes back. When you go to Swargaloka, you do worship of that particular day. You are sent over there, but when some punyas are finished, what happens? You come back. That is the problem. So now we have to move little to a higher category of karma in our life. Which category? Higher category. Where we can destroy whatever bank balance is there and we can live. And it is only possible when we start this akarmic way of bhakti. When we do actions which are for the satisfaction of Lord, Supreme Lord. Otherwise, if we do for devatas, it will come in good karma. Which karma? Good karma. But for that also there is a reaction. That is also a... So we are not interested in any reactions, but we want to burn whatever past karmas we have. So these are the 9 ways by which, if we practice in a day-to-day life, we practice Bhagavad Gita in day-to-day life, then we will be able to clear all our backlog. And that is most important thing that we have to do. Because knowing unknowingly you can't save. For example, if a person you are giving, good karma, like you are going on a signal and somebody beggar you are giving 5 rupees or 1 rupees or 10 rupees. You are thinking that I am doing a very good karma. But for that 10 rupees, he starts smoking or he starts eating non-veg. You will be a part of his bad karma. Knowing unknowingly also. Karma reactions are very deep. It is said in Bhagavatam that when we eat a fruit of a tree, what tree? Any tree. So unless and until you don't become a tree, what? And that tree doesn't become a human being and he eats, that karma reaction is still there. What is that? It is not nullified. So many karma reactions are pending in a life. And Prabhuji, in Kali Yuga, the situation is very bad.
Never ending.
Very bad. I'll tell you one small incidence of unfortunate. One very young person. He just slipped. And he got hurt over here on the chest. Everybody thought that is just lag gaya hai thoda. What's the problem? He's a very intelligent person. And pain started coming to him. Fact story, just a few days back. And entire night the pain was going. So morning he went to doctor. And doctor gave him some medicine. Then also the pain was not going. Second day he had to go in the hospital. And hospital, then they found out that internal bleeding has started. What has started? And it has become now very severe. And the operation has to be done. And because it got little late for some reason, next day he died. So in Kali Yuga, we don't know which reaction happening.
This has happened, my brother's son.
Another story I'll tell you. One husband wife got divorced. They had one son. Wife is staying separate for 10, 12 years, 15 years. His son was going to college. Chembur said there is one college. So the crossing has to come. Last year of engineering he is doing. What? Only hope that child. In the mobile, he was putting song and he is crossing the railway line. What happened? Train crashed. All single hope of that by mother also finished. So we don't know which reaction is going to hit us, what time. Immediately we have to start cleaning our past reactions. Immediately. Otherwise, only doing good karmas is not going to solve our problems. No good karmas will lead you to save you from your bad karmas. Please. So we'll stop over here. It's almost third session finished.